Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxus map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1 in the north and ending with Team 2 in the south. Starting off with Team 1's not necessarily isolated player, but kind of on his way, on his own side. We have in orange, the color orange, it is Tabernacle. He is a Cybran for this match as a 1400. In Emerald Green, next door to him is Cavat as a UEF. In Emerald Green again, he is a 1900. In Light Octane to his northeast, we have the Aeon player Pepe. He is a 1400 for this match. In Imperial Grey to his southeast is Yoji. He is a 2100. He's the highest rated player on Team 1 and tied for the highest rated player overall. He is a Seraphim for this match. Next door to him in Ruby Red is Ched. He is a Cybran as a 1700. And in the regular slot here for Team 1, we have Razana. He is a Cybran as a 1500, blending in with his environment. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have one of each of the factions with 3 Cybrans. So again, 1 Aeon, 1 UEF, 1 Seraphim, 3 Cybrans. And it is looking like Team 1 and Team 2 will probably have 2 air players, so 4 land and 2 air. Starting off with Team 2 in the east, we see it is the Stitch Blue player of Chap. We have Ched and Chap. He is a Seraphim. He is a 1300. In Forest Green, the best color and UEF combination in all of Supreme Commanderdom, it is Lincoln. He is a 1900. In Rust to his southwest, we have Seal Force as a UEF as well, a 1400. In Regal Purple, I always want to say Royal Blue for some reason, is Dimitri 11. He's a Seraphim. He's a 2100. He's the highest rated player on Team 2 and tied with Yoji for the highest rated player overall. In Chevy Crimson to his west is Steriods. He is a UEF. He is an 1800. And last but not least for Team 2, and in the game overall, it is the Pac-Man yellow player of the Bali Clarion. He is a Cybran as a 1500. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 1 Cybran, 3 UEF, and 2 Seraphim. So Team 2 has no Aeon players, but they have 3 UEF. So lots of Fat Boys, lots of Percys out from Team 2, and a lot of Monkeys and Crabs from Team 1. And for these 12 players, let's take a look at the reclaim situation. Currently sitting at 40,000 mass in reclaim, which means it is over 3,000 mass, and there is a lot of it everywhere. Huge clumps surrounding the middle of the map, as well as a decent clumpage on the east and the western side. There is some actually in the back line as well, so there's just mass just everywhere. Taking a look at the mass extractor location clumps, we have, let's say, for Team 1 side of the map, there is the quad mix position back here, as well as kind of a nice little grouping of mass extractors back here. Probably 5-star mechs, I think. In the west, there is not really a whole lot. They're really kind of just dotted around the map. And in the east, there is a quad mix right over there. So there's not really a whole lot in terms of high grouping of mass extractors on the front lines. So benefit and a curse, it's going to be a little bit harder to retain control of each and every single mech that is on Team 1 and Team 2 side of the match, but it does make it a little bit easier to just kill off one mech, kill off another mech with some run-bys. They're not any sort of high groupings where, units and shields and all that nonsense will stack up. We do see that in the west and the east, attacks are going off between the players. We do see that Yoji and Lincoln had the first come action of the game, followed up by Cavat and Dimitri 11. A couple of units and some gunships inbound from Tabernacle take out that quad mech position for Cheerio. Is going to be a little bit annoyed about that. We do see those 2 comms on the western edge, and they're going to start shifting a little bit more eastward to cover the holes that are now being formed, or at least being shown on that western side. Everybody on Team 2 is on the front lines, or at least making their way to it. Team 1, there is 3 players in the east. Actually, scratch that. Looks like it's going to be 4 for Team 1 with 2 players on the western side. So a 3v2 advantage in favor of Team 2, a 4v3 advantage in favor of Team 1. So I would not be surprised to see the eastern side start to fall a little bit for Team 2, and then the western side start to fall for Team 1. But we do see that Cavat is surrounded by a decent amount of Dimitri's forces. Cavat dropping into the red. Cavat going to probably just walk him down at this point. This is going to be an early departure of the game. Very unfortunate for Team 1. And on the side that they're already down in comm numbers. Oh, no. Maybe Cavat might make it out of there. Sub 900 hit points. Does kind of block the Pathfinder there with that nice little T1 land spam facility. So it does help, protect him just for a tiny bit. So very, very weakened on that western side. Has to be very careful that Team 2 doesn't send a nice little fighter bomber or something out and kill him off very quickly. Gun started for him. Gun started in the east for Lincoln. Gun started for Yoji. And gun started for Baliclarian in the west. So 4 players going for gun, 2 on each team. We do see that Yoji finishes his very quickly, assisted by Pepes. Has T2 engineering suite on board as well. So going to be very annoying to deal with. And he already has Ilshis on the front line. So very much a just full send it strategy going on for Yoji. We do see in the east no other comm upgrades as of yet. And with the upgrade still underway here for Lenkin, CO Force is going to be a little bit outmatched in terms of just firepower for now. He needs to help get that upgrade underway, which he will finish and assist with that. And Lenkin now has his own gun upgrade online. It is a 2v2. Each of the teams have 1 comm with a gun, 1 comm without it. But Team 1 does have a little bit boost with the Yoji comm of having T2 engineering suite. But we do see that Lincoln might get 1-star veterancy if he goes after the Ilshis. Gets a nice little overcharge in, tries to take out the Ilshi as well, but he moves out of range just barely. We do see CO Force going for a gun. And I think I'm just going to split things just in case I missed something on that western side. Cavat going for a nano. Definitely a smart play there just to make sure he doesn't die off very quickly on that front line. And it does look like Yoji going for a nice little T1 PD emplacement, trying to cover it with his comm. There are some T1 units nearby, slowly trying to deal with that. Maybe they'll get it. 1 nice overcharge should kill that out pretty quickly. So that shouldn't be a concern that much longer. We do see CO Force almost done with his gun upgrade. And Nano is now done for Cavat's comm. Gun and gun here for Team 2's Western players of Cheerios and Dimitri 11. So it is the, of course, stage of the game where comm upgrades, T2, possible T3 land upgrades starting to be occurring for our players. We do see a nice little run by on the western side here for Tabernacle. He's doing a very good job of just being very annoying for this western side against Team 2. And again, that stealth upgrade almost done for Ched. A gun upgrade almost done for Chap. And Rosano over here in the east. And of course, Ched already has the gun upgrade on board. Team 1 PD being built to secure this position with T2 supporting it. So again, going to be a little bit more annoying. Upgrade says Yoji to Pepe is like, hey, just get something online so he doesn't get wiped out very quickly. At least the range and sensor package upgrade at a minimum, just to get a little bit more vision on that side. But you can always go for the Aeon Sniper Commander. Regen Aura started for Dimitri, not going for Nano as a second upgrade. Definitely an interesting choice. Of course, he has some Ilshis, but that's not going to provide that much cover. And now we see not necessarily a role reversal here, but I was going to say with the Nano upgrade, I think he'd be better off than the Regen. It will keep his not comm units, but his units around the comm alive a little bit longer, but he is really suffering under the weight of all those Mongeese being pushed by Cavat. Cavat, of course, is the frontline unit, air quotes, in this engagement. I guess he's an armored command unit, to be fair, but we don't really consider him a unit as everything else that you can build in this game. But of course, those Mongeese are pretty weak. They're of course offset by the range advantage that they get on board. Stealth and Nano started for the Western players on Team 2, while they're going for Stealth and Nano going for Cheerios in the east. Ched underneath, dual comm bombardment. Both of them have gun. One almost at veterancy, one of them is at veterancy. And this eastern side is just a nice little back and forth. A little bit of a no man's land is forming. Western side, it's not really, I mean, there is a no man's land. Counter pushing has occurred. Western side, a little bit of a distraction here for Team 2, allowing these comms to finish those upgrades. And again, Cavat in a similar situation we've already seen them in a couple of moments ago. Dimitri 11 is dropping into the red, though, and again, that Nano upgrade would be very, very nice right about now. 1,300 hit points, 1,100 hit points. Cavat might be trying to go for the kill. 500 hit points left Barely gets out of range for a brief moment. Fires an overcharge, kills off the radar system. Nice grab there. But we do see those comms are now done with an upgrade, and that is not good. If they send their comms directly eastward, they will cut off the ability for Cavat to retreat and either just cause him to go all the way to the east, which is not going to work out. Those PD would eat him alive at that point. And if he goes northward, they'd run into those comms anyway. So he might just going to be stuck to go for Dimitri 11's comm. Cavat gets a nice little rank efficiency, so they'll keep him alive a little bit longer. We do see Bali and Cheerios are inbound. Yeah, this is not going to be good here for Team 1's Cavat. He is not looking too hot. And Cavat is, again, 3-star veterancy, nano and gun, so he can survive a little bit out in with the wilderness over here on Team 2's side of the map, but don't think it's going to go very well. Upgrades are being done and continue to be queued. Advanced range coming online here for Pepe's. It's still Lenkin and Yoji going at it. Yoji now has Nano on board. Nano going for Chap. Shield going for, who is that? That's Seal Force. And Cavat dropping into the red, sub 3,000 hit points. And this is just going to be a walk down. It's a gun nano affair. No star veterancy versus 3, but that's not going to matter at this point. That's going to be a kill for Team 2. It's only going to be a matter of a couple of moments now. A couple of more units inbound to assist. Nice little pillar here to just really drive that home. And there goes Cavat. Again, he played very, very aggressive. Almost died the first time, did die the second time, and that will be his downfall. And the first kill of the game goes to Team 2, and is a 6v5 game now in favor of the Southern team of Team 2. Next time, no mercy for you. No idea what that conversation's about. Now almost done for Tabernacle in the west. He has control of the entire western front here for Team 1. Benefit and a curse. Benefit, he can, now has dual base and upgrade and eco a lot easier. Downside is he has to micro everything, so he's going to be running around a lot. Exhaustion's going to set in for him a lot sooner than anybody else is. In the northern side, T3 air is down for both Pepe's and Rosanna's. So like I said, 2 air players. One expanding a little bit more than the other one, but again, one is the main rearguard air slot, and the other one is kind of the support. Southwestern side, similar situation happening for these 2 players, Bali and Seal Force. So we'll see how that goes for him. And in the east, Chet is underneath some not so good scenarios. Lots of Yenzine as well as a couple of Ilshis mixed in there for Chap's comm. Chap has nano and gun. See, now this would be a better position for the region or to keep these units a little bit alive longer, a little bit alive a little bit longer. There we go, man. Ew, could not say that to say it by mouth by any means. Ched dropping hit points very quickly, even with nano on board. Needs a rank in veterancy to survive. Will he get it in time? Oh, that gives him a little bit more time. There's also some Othams inbound, which I don't think are gonna help. Chad dropping below. He's up and down, 2,000 hit points. Othams being distracted by the bricks. We have, of course, Rosano over here to assist. Chap gets out of range of the AoE explosion, and Chad dropping below 500 hit points, 400 hit points, 500, 400, 500, 400. Oh, and he gets hit by Chap's comm, and that is a kill for Team 2 as well. Second kill of the game goes to them. It is a 6v4 affair now. Again, the downside with killing off players, especially this early in the game, is somebody else on Team 1's going to get eco. And that's not the best idea. Granted, it depends who really gets it, but with Yoji getting in for Team 1 on the eastern side, again, 2100, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to use that mats very effectively. Again, he's going to lose probably a little bit of it, at least the exterior or the outlying outskirts mexes. But the main mexes and the secondary ones, he's going to keep those for a while. That's going to be a huge, huge benefit here for him. Of course, he's going to go for T3, which he already has. He's going to just pump out those offense. Maybe he'll go for bricks. Maybe he'll go for more monkeys or something. More experimentals, get that early one online. I don't know. We'll see what he ends up doing with it. We do see that in the mass department, Team 2 slightly ahead, but again, not by a huge margin, so it's not a real concern. Now, these quad mex positions with these ranged mechs is not really a good scenario for Team 1 to lose. Of course, every mass storage that is lost is also knowing not as much mass as the actual mass extractor per second, but it is something. There are some bricks inbound, and they're not really focusing the targets, so It looks like maybe they'll get one, and that's probably going to be it. And not an actual loss, as much as I thought that was going to happen. Western side, we see Bali and Steriods with the death of Cabot able to push in heavily. We do see a large group of forces, actually a couple of them stacking up and trying to reinforce one another. Again, there is a possible run-by opportunity on the western edge of the map, but you have to cut immediately to the east, and these forces can immediately just, fall back and call it a day there. So it's not really a tactical advantage there, but we'll see what ends up happening over there. In the east, we have the glorious Spearhead, the land version of the Torrent-class missile ship, trying to punch into a Seraphim and Aeon TMD base, which, good luck doing that. I mean, you're going to shoot a bunch of missiles all day, every day, and good luck trying to get through that. I think it would be a little bit better if there were zappers instead of the, don't know how to pronounce that, the Seraphim T2 TMD, because I think the zappers have the best range in the game. But in the west, Steriods being bombarded by a ton of rhinos and some restorers overhead. That is not great for your health there long term there, good sir. And I was going to say, I think he's going to go down. I was very surprised his hit points were falling quickly, and then slowly for a brief moment. But he is killed off. Team 1 gets revenge on somebody on Team 2 and is now a 5v4 affair on this western side. And in the game overall, does look like Team 2's Dimitri will gain that massive. We see a second snipe attempt almost on the cards here for Team 1. Bali Clarion trying to rush to this T2 shield emplacement, dropping below 50% and almost down into the red before he gets underneath that shield coverage. There are some lightning tanks nearby, and there is some AA. Is there any more AA coverage nearby? No, there's some ASFs though, so that should be enough from Team 2 to help out. Bali Clarion does have his own ASFs nearby, so that helps. And woof, definitely not going to walk out on his own anymore. Team 2, again, kind of fell to the same mistake that Team 1's Cavat did. They were a little bit too aggressive on their own. Not a lot of support nearby, and they paid the price for it. Gunships inbound to the east, assisted by some ASFs from Rosana, trying to push back Pepe's, and again, Yoji's combined position. Lots of PD being built, and it looks like that's going to be enough to drive away the Perseus. I love the Perseus. They are, I think, my favorite T3 land unit in all of Supreme Commanderdom, but they are not all powerful one-arm slot machines as they are. Yoji over here in the east, again, trying to defend against a decent amount of Othams, but he has Nano, T2, and Gun. 110 hit points a second, 5-star veterancy, so he's going to be fine. But if Chap or Steel Force came in to assist, or at least were right next to him, that probably would have been a kill for Team 2, but they weren't there in time. But you see those restorers still causing a muck. They're going after the weaker, more mobile units, those T3 artillery and the T3 missile launchers. So those, of course, are going to be a little bit more annoying to replace versus the standard tank. Of course, they're more utility, and they're different. They're not the main line unit. They're the secondary or even tertiary line units. In the west, units again starting to stack up for both of these teams on the western edge. Eastern side, Team 1 starting to push out a little bit with Yoji. It looks like Yoji has given this western side of the eastern side, if that even makes sense, to Pepe's. Omni online for Pepe's as well. That's going to be huge for Team 1. Does Team 1 have another Omni over here? No. Does Team 2 have an Omni over here? No. It should be up. Oh, no, they're getting one right here. Okay. I don't like how close it is. I wish there was maybe a shield right here or something, and the PD were right here just to give it a little bit more room, but, it's better than nothing. It's roughly in the same position, so they're going to get relatively the same amount of info. Repair, a nano repair started here for Bali, and advanced regen started here for Dimitri 11. Eco situation, Team 2 still in the lead, 1.5k to 1.2, so it's starting to be a little bit concerning here for Team 1's Eco. That could be power related, that could be actual related, who knows? Well, somebody knows. They probably know. We can probably check that really quick. Not bad. Oh, okay, yeah, well, that tells me everything Pepe's is negative, so It's probably more like 1.35, maybe 1.4, so maybe not as bad. But current situation, not great. Not bad, just not great. In the eastern side, Yoji still gaining ground on Team 2. Team 2's chap just being pushed and pushed and pushed and then more pushed. You know, even with the assistance of SEAL Forces Comm, it's just not enough to keep Yoji back. And that's what happens when you have a 2100 that early in the game, gets a secondary base. You can see it's a little bit more of a delayed effect for Dimitri because earlier Tabernacle got the secondary base. So we see essentially the fruits of those labors, but now with the secondary base online for Dimitri 11, he's starting to build up all those Percies. And of course he's equipping his forces with those sniper tanks, those nice, or sniper bots, excuse me, and those, man, they are annoying. Of course they are very weak and easily snipeable, but you take out all the mainline T3 units with those things and those armies crumble just incredibly fast. And he's also using the T3 Seraphim mobile shielding instead of the UEF one. Granted, he started off as Seraphim, so that would make more sense. That's why he's kind of gravitating towards that. But the parashields, they're a cheap option. You can spam those a lot more. Although, okay, never mind. He is getting those parashields online, so forget what I just said. He's using both, so good on him. Nano repair now started here for Dimitri 11. There's also a nice little spearhead. It's being very annoying. There's no TMD nearby, which he's actually not even building. He's building flak, which... Okay, now he's building TMD. I was going to say that. Omni going down is going to hurt Team 2. And it's not being hit, so lucky Team 2. But that TMD coming online here shortly will be enough to fix that assist as Dimitri 11 talking to, looks like CO Force with the upgrade on board him. Regen Aura advanced at that, going for a chap. He has regular nano. He's at 5-star Vectum now. There's starting to be tanky comms on the eastern side of the map. Those Seraphim nonsense tanky comms are just annoying to deal with. They're like those SACUs, but not as bad, because those Cybran SACUs are 400 hit points a second regen. And I think the Seraphim are 252, 220. It's like 200 something. But experimental on the front lines on the eastern side for Yoji is going to not have good things for Team 2's Lincoln to deal with. That chicken is not going to be stopped. This is not enough Percies to one-tap that or even two-tap that. There is a chicken inbound, though, for Chap, so that could be enough. A couple of T1 bombers over top just to help out, but it's not going to be that much help. The best thing actually would be to just target those mobile shielding, but there's some lightning tanks nearby, and yeah, that's not great. Again, the chicken's AA on board is actually not bad for taking out T1 units. Anything more than that, and I'd rather just put that AA weapon damage into land damage. If you can just like divert the power, essentially, it'd be a lot better against land units than it would be on air units. Sniper bots unattended there, not great for their livelihood. Couple of shots kill them immediately. We do see, again, those forces are stacking up. Chicken online here for Dimitri 11. Now that's going to not help things. Dimitri's actually over here all on his lonesome. He's actually moving in to assist the chicken. And I think I'm going to split things once again because things are starting to move. Looks like the attack does actually get stopped, so never mind. And in the west, Dimitri 11 is pushing back. There's a decent amount of reclaim on the map, currently sitting at 55,000. It's actually not as much as I thought it would be, which means Team 1 and Team 2 are definitely reclaiming. Oh, yeah, they're reclaiming. Good on both teams, but Team 1 specifically almost 45,000 more mass than Team 1. Oh, sorry, Team 2. And lots of reclaim over here, and those tanks are being pushed back. Chicken, of course, leading the charge. Team 1 doesn't really have a counter to this. They do have a crab coming online shortly for Tabernacle, but it's a couple of moments away. Not immediate. And again, like I said, I wish there was a way to have a save position, like a preset, like, oh, this is my, preset 1 for the minimap location, preset 2 in the middle of the top there, sort of thing, just so I don't have to keep moving it manually. But that would be nice. Not a big concern, but it's just a short little time saver. Air fight occurring in the middle of the map, but it looks like Team 2 gets a little bit better of engagement there. There is some AA dotted around, but again, nothing of consequence. ASFs turn around and go, okay, fine, we'll leave. And those ones from Rosanna will return and go home, or at least sit back a little bit. Looks like all of the ASFs and the gunships being stacked up by Team 1's. Rosanna gifted over by Pepe's, because Pepe's is going for nukes, and that nuke is firing. First nuke of the game, almost 6 minutes. And there she goes. If I have to wait a couple more seconds, there it goes. Thank you, announcer, for saying the name of the channel. And it is going for the air grid, and woof, is that gonna hurt. Gonna grab all these mexes. Gonna grab the quantum gateway. Gonna grab whatever and anything in range. Not gonna be great. And Team 2 is gonna lose a lot of air power. Not necessarily immediately, but future air power to this attack. And there's no... Okay, well, there's an SMD not loaded. SMD not loaded. I don't even think that would be in range. Chicken is attacking in the west. ASFs get brutalized by Team 1. And here comes the nuke. Kaboom! The T3 air headquarters is non-existent at this point. This T3 mech is fine, but all the other ones are gone. So 3 T3 mechs plus the T3 air headquarters. Great nuke here. Probably about 45,000 mass. Oh no, a lot more than I thought. 80. Oof. Ooh, that's a lot. Really underestimated. Either I underestimate it by a decent amount, or I overestimate it. I haven't been able to really dial down exactly how much is worth just offhand. 2 chickens on the eastern side facing off 1 chicken. Oh, sorry, no, 2 chickens from Team 1, and those PD will kind of be in range if the chickens move a little bit more north of the Oblivions, not the laser cannons, the Uthashalas. 2 chickens to V1, of course, always going to go the numbers route. There's a lot of T3 support here for Yoji. Yoji going to send the first chicken in. The second chicken from Team 1, Yoji, is going to be in range. It looks like the chicken's going to have a heart-to-heart. This chicken goes down before this one goes down. That is not great. The Iron Stem will secure the kill, of course. But unfortunately for Team 2's Chap, this second chicken's already 50% dead. And always is not the great scenario where you move it too late. And there is that. Ion Storm's kicking off. And it's going to be the 3rd Ion Storm. Team 1 going to gain, actually, mass, because they lose 1 chicken, but Team 2 loses 2 chickens. And in terms of that math, Team 2 will always, quote-unquote, donate mass to Team 1. It's a great counter there by Yoji. Again, he sent the first one in. He knew that was going to die. Secured the kill on the first one, secured the kill on the second one, and then made sure that the second one, of course, also did not get anywhere near that second one from him. On the western side, Crab online. Chicken is dead for Dimitri 11. Second one now online. Again, supporting it with the advanced regen nonsense. That is, okay, 270. That's what it is. I know it was, 200 something. 525,000, 52500 hit points. That was where I was getting that 25 number. ASF's divided, says Ched. Yes, the ASFs are divided. Team 1's going for the more one air player with, again, a little bit supporting role versus Team 2 going, I have mine, you have yours, and we'll leave it at that. And again, the chicken is still being repped up, kept alive a little bit longer than normal. It will die right here, but it lasted a lot longer than it normally would. Dimitri now under fire from the Crab. However, again, 270 hit points a second region is nothing to scoff at. And it's going to be close. I don't think the... Okay, never mind. I was going to say the land units are not going to kill the Crab, but the air units are going to. But never mind that. So good job on CO4 sniping that when you can. We do see all those no. Okay, now the ASFs pulled out, and the gunships fled too quickly. Cloaking started for Bali Clarion online, and the second nuke, 4 minutes after the first one, is loaded and fired, going after Chap now. Chap does not have SMD. That will be another base kill here for Team 1. Especially with Chap being assaulted, assailed, attacked, bombarded, whatever word you want to give. He does have a chicken, and that chicken from Team 1 is damaged. But there's a lot of T3 support. There is a FAF war, though. So that is something. Nuke is inbound. Spy planes over top. Nope, they'll get out of there before the nuke lands. And boom! There goes that one. Almost 30 minutes on the dot. Now it's sitting at 145, so 80 and 60 for those two nukes. Very, very good. Good averages there. That, again, the average for two nukes, 70 plus, is very good. And that's on two bases, too. So that is two ecos just ravaged for Team 2. And currently sitting at Team 1's 2.3K versus 1.8. And again, that is primarily driven because of that nukes. So Pepe's looking to be not a shoo-in, but having some points put on his scoreboard for MVP award. Currently sitting on the map, Team 1 has lost two players, being Kavat and Shed. And they got a revenge kill on Churio, so it is a 4v5 in favor of Team 2. As I said, with the Ecos, Team 2 is behind. It's 2.4, 2.3, 2.2. Some amount of numbers to 2.0, 2.1. So Team 2 is now behind. Map control, a little bit in favor of Team 1. Again, very fluid, especially in the middle, with a lot of back and forth. But I think overall Team 1 has a little bit better grasp on the land map scenario. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, because why not at this point? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the sentence map match from yesterday. If you haven't seen it already, go ahead and check that out. Very fun game. It's always fun to cast a sentence game just because it's, I don't know, it's fun. It's just all, usually the big toys show up, and it's just fun to watch, especially high-rated players just duke it out. No holds bar kind of thing. In the West. Oh, I like the Soothsayer position here for Tabernacle. Gives them a huge portion of the map. Again, it's not a 20 by 20. We can see the northern and southern edges of the main map game boundary. I guess game boundaries, I think is what you would call those. So, I mean, it's probably about a 16, but that is a huge chunk. And there's even one here on this eastern side. So lots of vision for Team 1, doing very well in the the intel gathering. And again, it's not a huge concern. Yes, 3,000 energy per second, and it is unguarded. There's no shield around it or anything, but Team 2 isn't really assaulting it. And if for some reason Tabernacle's distracted and that goes down, he'll be like, why is my vision gone? Oh, they're attacking. Oh, I got to go deal with that now, kind of thing. Another Omni backup. Love to see it. Wish it was a little bit further away, but again, a backup is better than nothing. Crab is moving in. Again, there is a cloaking comm of Bali Clarion. That thing doesn't provide... No, it's just a vision field. It's not Omni. That would be probably a little bit more OP. Nuke is outbound. It's going to strike here from Pepe's. And it looks like... It doesn't look like anybody's really retreating from Team 2. So they're more moving either east or north. And if Team 1's paying attention, they'll see the cloaking laser commander of Bali Clarion. Gunships are inbound. And it is Rust on Orange Crime over here. A little bit difficult to tell the difference. T3 UEF peeps. Please, says Pepe's, and Nuke is going to land, and air fight happens right next door to it. The chicken will receive just not good damage, kills that off, so nice snipe there, but didn't get any of the commanders, which is probably what Pepe's was hoping for, but just massacre in the air by Team 1, and again, that's partly been driven by the fact that the secondary air player of Seal Force lost his air grid, and even attacking the east by some gunships. Nice distraction. It was decently worth it. I think a couple more mexes got taken offline. But I do love the fact that the gunships were sent in, the air forces from Bali Clarion were distracted, and then the ones from Seal Force were wiped out. A nice little, again, distraction move there. Again, didn't get that much done. A little bit, but not a whole lot done as much as he would have wanted. But something's better than nothing, of course. And now another chicken is dead for Dimitri 11. He still has one in reserve. The Crab goes down. The Soothsayer goes down. That's annoying. And I think Team 1 sees Bali Clarion. Unfortunately for you, sir, Omni is in range, or spy plane or whatever is over top. Gunships are inbound to try to save him, but I think it's a little bit too late. It's not going to happen a second time. And there it goes. Team 2 loses another player. It is now a 4v4 tied up game once again. And Team 1's air is going to decimate Team 2's once again. That is not great for Team 2. Team 2 is probably going to start thinking about how to end this game a different way with a huge advantage in air like that, and Team 1 having a nuke online for this long every nuke has landed. Hasn't been shot down yet. 181,000 mass. Again, even with that third nuke not being as great as the first two, average being 60k, still very, very good. So Pepe's being very, very economical with those nukes. Looks like CO Force gains control of everything in the back line, giving him full air control, which is probably good. So he has full control of the air micro. Makes it a little bit easier to deal with. Attack in the east. We see nice little crab online. Lots of missile launchers as well as a decent amount of Fat Boys and Percy stacking up. Chicken's going to give that crab a nice hug. And there's a lot of missiles inbound, and that Ion Storm's in range. Percy's actually going to try to come and assist with this. Crab is taking lots of damage, and that Ion Storm is not going to help things. That's a that's a lot of that did not feel good to watch. Yeah, that's a dead crab over there. And that is going to possibly go to... actually, no, maybe not. Maybe it's going to get out of range. The Fat Boys aren't moving in. The Percy's are trying to chase it, but there's a new crab online. And I think that crab might actually make it home. So as much damage as it did take, at least at a minimum... Oh, no, never mind. It's going to turn around anyways. So forget what I just said. It's going to get, let's say, one tap, but almost one tap out of those Percy's. And a couple more shots. There it goes. The second crab, of course, is barely in range of those Percy's. And helping to assist, avenge its brother in the west. Fat Boys in the west as well, supported by some chickens. Chicken's going to intercept the Monkey Lord. Monkey Lord goes, nope, see you, bye. Not dealing with that today. Nope, nope, nope. Going home now. Donut started here for Team 1's Peppers, as well as a T3 artillery installation online. How's this Nuke? Nuke is loaded. Hasn't fired it yet. I was in pause for dramatic effect to see if he would launch it, but he did not, so never mind. I'm going to move away, look at something else, and then he's going to launch it. Our sub bomber being built by Yoji. Love to see those things in action. If somebody on Team 1 builds the bug, that's all three air experimentals in one game. Love it, love it, love it. And especially on one team. Usually it's, they're all built, just not on the same team. Pretty rarely if it's, like I said, on the same team. I keep saying same team more times than I think I need to. Stop making gunships, says Cavat. Another nuke outbound from Pepe's. Only one to build a nuke launcher so far. Where is this one going? It's going westward. Almost the same position. And Dimitri is still going to push forward, completely going in opposite direction that Team 1's Pepe's think he would be going. And that is definitely a nice sign of a very well-skilled player. He knows that, if I launch a nuke, he's probably going to go where I was, so I'm going to fall back, and that's where I'm going to land my nuke. But no, I'm going to reverse psychology him and go a completely different way than what he expects me to go. This one, again, not as great. Kaboom! Does take out some shields and some other supporting units and some SACUs. So that'll help keep its average up. 200,000 for 4 nukes. That's still almost, I think it's almost 55, I think. So still very, very good. I always like thinking of averages because if you get diminishing returns on your nukes, is it really worth it? But killing off 200,000 mass worth of stuff is always worth it. Always, always worth it. Especially with 4 nukes. Good average. Donut is online. Is it shield? Okay, I thought his shield was offline for some reason. Or it was laser was firing. Second artillery is online. Or no, not online, but coming online. And our sub bomber is going to land right on top of Dimitri 11. He's underneath the Fat Boy shielding. He should be fine. Does take some damage there, but again, 52,000 hit points, 270 hit points a second regen. I think you know where I'm going with this. He is a tough cookie to crack for sure. A tough nut to crack, tough cookie to break, whatever the phrase is. I don't know, I'm struggling today. Pair shields, or the T3 version in the Seraphim class, are online protecting him. He's in the red. He's going to take some damage from this. Move out of the way, Chicken. I can't see how much hit points are left. 5,000 hit points remaining. There is a crab nearby. The Chicken trying to block more gunships inbound. Dimitri, unfortunately, you pushed way too far forward again. Almost died in the exact same spot that Bali Clarion died. He died, I think, right about here. And the donut over top going to wipe out that Chicken. Not great for Team 2's western side. That's another player dead, which means for the first time in the game, Team 1 is winning with the comms left alive at 4v3. Eco is 3k to almost 3k, 2.7, 2.9, keeps jumping back and forth. But the eco situation, not super great. Oh, no, that's 3.1. Okay, maybe that's an eco reclaim situation. I don't know. Keeps jumping back and forth. So now we see that Seal Force has control of the entire western side and the air grid. Now his APM is going to be taxed to the max. You know, eastern side isn't that bad for Team 1. There is, of course, exhaustion for everyone, but it's not going to be as bad as what's going on for Seal Force. It's going to be struggle to keep the everything back here from Team 1. Gunships inbound. Chicken dead. Chicken also dead. Monkey not having a fun time there, going after the crab now. That crab is actually severely weakened as well. And even if Team 2 kills off the crab, yeah, that's great. But that mass is on Team 1 side of the map. They're just going to get it back. So, not great. Go YOLO, says Dimitri. He's supporting the main shielding with the SMD. Maybe he'll go for YOLO. I mean, at this point in the game, it might be the only thing that saves Team 2. Or just some sort of game ender. Nice little array of not the fighter bombers inbound for Yoji. Shield is online for the Fat Boy, so the shield will go down. The Fat Boy itself will not. 3 Fat Boys, that isn't critical mass yet, especially in this kind of scenario where there's a lot of room to move around. I'd say 5 or so is critical mass. But of course, there's a lot of air power from Team 1, so that might actually need to be up to maybe 6. Because another squadron or half a squadron is inbound. Again, this Fat Boy is severely weakened and does go down, so yeah, probably up the numbers to maybe 6 in terms of the critical mass. Air grid to the max going on for Rosanna, playing some SimCity up here. And of course, really supporting their team with just the massive amounts of air power. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So another nuke outbound from Team 1's Pepe's. That's number 5. Going for... What's it going for? Is it going for this position? The SMD is built, not loaded. The SMD over here is built and not loaded. The SMD not in here. They're building an artillery piece. Nuke's gonna land, take out a couple of Fat Boys. Actually only takes out 1. Kaboom! But still, the mass is vaporized. How much? 238. So, you know, we're approaching... say about 40 something. It's no longer 50,000 mass per nuke. But again, as long as the average is at least, I think it's 30 something, it's profitable. I forget how much mass it costs off the top of my head for a nuke, but I think it's average 30 is good. I think. I can't remember. Like I said, I can't remember off the top of my head. But none of them have been shot down though, so that is something to take in consideration for Pepe. He's like, well, he hasn't shot down any nukes yet, so is it really worth it to keep firing? And in Team 1's perspective, yeah, it is. Second donut online. I thought I saw a satellite running around, but maybe not. Oh, no, scratch that. I did. There's 2 of them up here. 4, looks like that is CO Force going after some mexes, it looks like. I mean, that is always a good target to take out with satellites. Usually undefended, especially the ones out in no man's land. Again, that calls back to the beginning of the game when I said it's harder to protect the one-off mexes than it is the clumps of mexes. You put a shield, there's 3 or 4 mexes protected versus, okay, 2 mexes are kind of close to one another, and it's just spam shield central, which is fine if you have the power for it. Early game, you don't have the power for it. Late game, you might have the power for it, maybe not. Fat Boy back online for Seal Force, going after a group of units up here to the north, 2 crabs and a monkey. The Soothsayer back online next to an Omni. That's actually a good combo there. One gets the vision, one gets the actual like radar signatures. There is no water on this map, even though this is a snow map, just because of the, well, there's no water. There is water on snow maps, but you know, it's ice and snow, and technically there's not supposed to be water, but anyway. I have seen snow maps with water in it. In the east, gunships stacking up for something. It's definitely a bait attempt by Rosanna. He really wants to grab all those ASFs and gain air dominance supremacy / I have air. Currently sitting at 7. Oh, hold on. That makes more sense. 200 and this is 250 for Team 1. Seal Force sitting at 140. Actually, no. He has the better number. Almost 300. So if all those ASFs engaged, that actually might be the air win. The only, of course, downside, though, has been the fact that Steel Force does have, and Team 1 also has Cybran ASFs, which Cybran ones are not great in terms of the overall stacking up, and you can kind of see that on display. Granted, it is partially Cybran v Cybran, so there is that. Oh, look, there's a scath that's being built in his base, but we'll go check on that in a second. And that ASF war, or battle, I should say, won immediately by Team 2. And that is a huge win. Again, even though Team 2 has air dominance at this point, there is a concern with the 2 artillery, soon to be 3 artillery pieces, the nuke, the 2 donuts hanging out. You know, Team 2 is starting to scath this investment. I do love the fact that there is shielding being deployed now instead of when it's already built, so love to see that. And it's also the Seraphim one, so it's also a nice benefit there. They are the best ones in the game, so good thing he's going for those. He's just protecting all of his SMDs. I don't blame him. Artillery landing where the satellites are being housed, and ooh, that's a lot of dead engineers. Shield going to be built, though, in time, so that's great, but you can see the satellites going down. That used to be a satellite position, I would presume. And another one is being built here shortly. Looks like there was one built or soon to be built, or something was happening with Lincoln's one. It's just not going well. Team 1 has the long range weapons. Team 2 does not. And that might just be the thing that wins Team 1 the game. I do see a really weird thing happening in the north. We have a couple of satellites hanging around Tabernacle's comm, and the Nathas tried to body block, it looked like, for Tabernacle. I mean, if that works, go for it, but I don't really have seen that before. Usually body blocking in terms of air units we see in the transports and whatever's on the ground against artillery. I mean, I think most of you have seen that, where the transports essentially just, not glitch, but they freak out, they spaz out over top of the artillery. So that way when the shot comes in, it hits the transports, hopefully, and not the shielding or the thing below the shielding, which is, you know, the thing they're trying to protect. But never satellite with Nazdas trying to protect a comm. Haven't seen that. Nope. Bat Boys still stacking up on the western side. There's now 4 of them over here. That's not looking good. Team 2 Steel Force is spamming those out. The only downside, again, spamming up Fat Boys is A, they are slow, and B, it does give Team 1 time to say, okay, we're going to hold here, for example, like right where my yellow dots are, and just spam T2 artillery. So yeah, Team 1 will take losses, but at some point the Fat Boys will be forced back, if that is what Tabernacle is planning on. Granted, a lot of this is just engineers from Pepe's for reclaim purposes, which I don't blame him, because he's building artillery, which he's built another experimental unit, which makes me think, oh look, he built his own satellites. Look at that. He kind of got tired of Team 2's. He's starting to build his own. Anything you can do, I can do better. Champses, artilleries. Those things have been built for a while, and the third one's almost done. So the fact that those just got spotted, or possibly just got spotted by Team 2, is not a good thing. So definitely need to get more intel gathering going on here for Team 2. I mean, there were satellites over top, so they must have seen that earlier, so that doesn't make any sense. But I digress. Western side, again, it's all engineers, just spam engineers trying to get that reclaim, and of course a little bit of AoE will go on the actual wreck, so it's a little bit more, or a little bit less mass for Team 2 to scoop up, so that is kind of a small benefit, but it's also mainly a distraction for all the Fat Boy fire. It's another one of those things. Artillery landing in on the one from Team 2. It immediately got taken out as I go look at it, so apologies for Chap. I was starting to look at it and it got denied, so it is just a coincidence, I swear. Looks like Chap donates everything over to Lincoln, and it is not looking good. All assist to Scathis, says Dimitri. And even if the Scathis does come online, I don't know. I mean, the air grid did take a hit over here for Razana, but it's not that bad. It's only 1 artillery piece, so there wasn't as much damage as it could have been if there was 2, of course. And with 3 emissaries online, there isn't really an already fortified position for Team 2. I mean, there kind of is in this realm down here, but it's not terribly fortified. It's also kind of actually body blocked by the structures already here. Ooh. Oh. That was a nice little 1-2 punch there. And that Scathis is dead. That is unfortunate. We do see in the east, Fat Boys are pushing in the west, in the east. Oh, apologies for missing this. A huge just death of chickens. Looks like there was a crab war 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, that is brutal. That is a 2-to-1 gain for Team 1. So 2 kills on Team 2 for 1 kill on Team 1. That is massive. That's a lot of mass over there. Just hanging out. Crab pushing in on the western side. Multiple Fat Boys are fleeing. One of them just built, it looks like, and going to be essentially killed right off the assembly line. Everything is fleeing. The western side is collapsing. Eastern side looks like it's being held off just barely, but 2 Fat Boys might not be enough. There is a chicken shooting at Chap's comm, which is its own chicken, I might add. So an interesting way to control K, I guess. Definitely don't see that every day, for sure. Definitely not something you see. But again, it's a flashy way, I guess, to control K. I don't know if that's an actual reportable offense or not. No idea. No idea. So, I wouldn't know, and I try to stay clear of any sort of misgivings or whatnot, one way or the other. So, I'll leave it to everybody in the comments to talk about that scenario. Again, like I said, the only thing I could say is, at that point, what is the difference between control K-ing and causing a chicken to shoot yourself to control K? And that's my opinion. What's the difference? But again, I could not know something, whatever. If I don't know something, please let me know down in the comments. I don't want to be misinforming anybody about any sort of rule violations or whatever, or what. Not, I was going to say OSHA, but that's not the word I'm going to use. The code of contact. Ah, there it is. That's what I'm talking about. There are a lot of Fat Boys online, I will admit, though, for Team 2, and I kind of did point that out with 3 UEF players, and there's actually 2 remaining still for Team 2. There's 4 of them over here, and there's 4 of them over here, so there's a lot of power in the land. That's short-range artillery and mobile. Team 1 has long-range artillery. They have 3 of them, soon to be 4 of them, plus soon to be 2 satellites. They have a nuke. I'm surprised Team 1 didn't go for Game Ender at this point. And this base down here, not super great here for Seal Force. I mean, mainly the thing that Team 2 has is a couple of satellites. They've started a Mavor, so that's something. Probably should have been started sooner than that. But again, I don't know if that's enough. Team 1's, attack in the west is still going. It looks like it is slowly starting to peter out. But with 3 artillery pieces, soon to be 4, that's if they see that Mavor, that's a dead. That's dead. It's point click dead. There's no. Yep, and it looks like there it is. Chad notices it. So once the artillery line up, that's a dead Mavor, and that's pretty much game. Spam Natha's in the east for Yoji. Dang, that's a lot of them. And there's even more. He has more of those things. There's 110. He probably had maybe 125, 130. That's I'm going to just delete whatever I point and click at. Essentially saying, I don't care how much AA you have, my bombs are getting through at some point. I can take air fight. The grid is messed up. No need. Hold back. Looks like fight. Oh, there are a lot of ASFs for Seal Force, though. Can I please click on the 213 of the Cyberians, 155 of the UEF. So looks like Rosanna 50 Coronas plus 300. Okay, at that point, I think Team 1 has it for air power. Still no attacks on the... Okay, well, looks like the shielding has taken a hit. And that Mavor is up to almost 50%. Again, as much as I would love to see the Mavor be finished, I don't think it will be. It needed to be online now, if not 4 or 5 minutes ago. Just look at the massive shield plus air grid, this nonsense. And look at this nonsense over there. And a huge amount of air staging facilities. I do love that. That is something underutilized in this game, are those air staging facilities. especially if you're keeping large numbers of ASF online for long periods of time. I mean, you're going to have stuff being on fuel for a while, and it looks like... No, it just looked like they would. That's just the veteran scene. Never mind. Target Mavor, says Ched. I mean, I think they've already been doing that. Over 50%. It might even get into the green. There is that satellite inbound from Pepe's. I mean, he has 4 artillery. Okay, 4 artillery pieces plus 2 satellites plus a nuke. I mean, that's enough. Sorry. There is a world where the shielding will be enough, but this is not enough. Sorry to say it. It is not enough. Needed Seraphim plus maybe 20 more, plus engineers assisting it constantly, plus bubble shield SACUs from the UEF side, plus Seraphim bubble shields, plus UEF bubble shields, plus T2 shielding, plus whatever else you could stick covering that Mavor. That's what he needed. It's in the green. It's in the green. Oh, that was a direct hit. That's rough. 51 minutes on the clock, and that's pretty much game. Crabs in the east dealing with all of the dead carcasses of the Fat Boys. Explosion somewhere. That's more SACUs going down. I want to look at the reclaim situation. Over almost 300,000 mass on the field. That is just so much mass on the field to scoop up. It really is. Wait, is that 300? It is. Okay, it looked like it was, I was reading another digit there, and I thought it said 3 million. I was like, that doesn't seem right. Most I think I've seen in the game is I think I've seen 1.5 million, but at least 1.2 million reclaimable mass. And Chicken going after Crab, and then Team 2's remaining players of Seal Force and Lincoln dip out. And that is the game here for Team 1. MVP, it's got to go to Pepe's. I mean, that nuke opened a lot of doors, took out 2 major bases, took out more mass over here. Did very well. Went for the artillery, constantly poking at Team 2. Canceled the artillery piece being built somewhere over here. And then, of course, the Mavor here, the Scathus over there. The satellites were on and off. There's another dead one, of course, right there. So Peppers did a very good job, but not to be underscored, though. That airbase is just massive. Granted, he was going for a teleport at this point, so all the shields are offline. But, man, that thing is huge. Lots and lots of SimCity going down over there. And essentially combined air power in that regard with Pepe's. And, again, he was in it for a little bit, and then he transitioned to long form. And then not to be underscored, the Eastern and Western players of Yoji and Tabernacle did a very good job of keeping the front line stable for the most part. And they had some intrusions, but it wasn't too bad. They were pushing in. They didn't overextend. They pushed just enough. And again, reclaim. I can't see what the numbers are because they gray all the stuff out, because why would they do that? No idea. But thank you so much for watching. I really, 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 really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I will see all of you in the next one.